Danny Navarette started way back almost 30 years ago. I've been with the union. I was in the uh, I was in the executive board for a while, but then it got too political for me, so I got out. I do rigging gaffing. I've been best boy for over 20 years, 15 years. Friday Night Lights, a Lion Game. I did the Newton Boys. I did Ace Ventura when in Africa. I did Selena when they were here. I did the first Spy Kids. I came in so long ago that when Robert Rodriguez was graduated, had just graduated and did El Mariachi, a bunch of the camaradas that I ran with are those guys or those graduates. And ever since they've dispersed, I'm kind of like the only one that remained here. Everybody took off because the business died for a bit. But as a gaffer, I don't know what you guys' interests are. We do need bodies in the union. The gaffer is basically the chief lighting technician. I've been rigging gaffer, which means I go ahead of the crew with my crew, and then I lay down the cable, the jennies. It's pretty physical. That's why I kind of wanted to eyeball you guys to see who's got the physique, who's got the want, who's got the hunger in their eye. Because right now our union is looking for young blood. I got the condolences of our business agent. Her name is Laura King, and James will give you her information and the numbers. I pass them on to him. But it's been okayed. We're trying to. There might even be a recruiting campaign where there's going to be a deal where we can cut you guys to come in. But about the trade itself, the skills it is just basically what this guy's going to teach you. I don't know if you're going for post production, which means the stuff after the film is shot, or during production when it's shot. And there's various departments that you go into. I'm in the lighting department, electric department, if you will. I took RTF at SAC. I took back in late '70s, mid '70s, and I started getting into it with the Stagehands Union. From that, I went to commercials. From that, they started doing HBO. The movie of the weeks were real special back then. That was our only income. We had a couple of TV series, North and South. My first one was a Patrick Swayze thing that got shot at the caverns called Fatherhood. And I did Lane Frost 8 seconds. I'm older than I'd like to admit, but we do need some young blood. We've been getting some young blood, some fresh guys, but it's a bunch of these little. They're not up to par. They're not up to snuff. Our union brothers, you have to be union to get into it, and he'll give you a. We'll talk about this a little bit later, where how you can join or get onto the roster and make it official. Because usually you have to be a card holder, you have to have experience, you have to be word of mouth referred. You got to go through a probation period. There's an entry fee, but it comes with benefits. And so in the long run, it's worth it. It's really worth it. A lot of people say, all right, it's a free to work state. It is, but you don't get union benefits, and the union doesn't cover you. It's covering for you. The union is helpful when, like, some production wants to work you over 20 hours and you're dead on your feet and you're a hazard to yourself and others. They don't see that. The union does see that and puts a stop to that. And any irregularities like that you might have. There's a grip department, which is a total different animal than we are, but we work together. They're more camera support. Lights, camera, action. So we're the lights, we're the cable, we're the generator, we're all that stuff to the film crew. I don't know how far into this your class goes, whether it's grip or electric. There is wardrobe. I mean, there's wardrobe, there's accounting, there's grip, electric, makeup, wardrobe, effects, construction, transportation, production assistance. There's all sorts of jobs there. It's just you got to take a look at it and see where you fit. Most of the people come in as a production assistant. That way they get an overview of all the categories and departments that are there, and you can see what's in your best interest. Basically, I'm looking for foot soldiers, I'll call it, because you got to get on the field. Your basic thing is right now I'm a third. I decided to dumb it down so I wouldn't have that many responsibilities, because I'm kind of on my way and I'm ready to get ready to retire. But so I went to go to the thirds. Third electric is all you do is, you give you a call time, you show up, you do your job. You're basically unloading a small truck with well, we call it like an assault package. They call shorty 40s because it's shorter than your bigger 40s, would have all your inventory in there. And you'll be working with some cables. The riggers mainly do the cables, but the first unit electric and grips will be there every day, 30 minutes before call time. For a courtesy breakfast, you get fed, 2 squares a day. Every 6 hours you come in with a courtesy meal. At 6 hours they gotta feed you again. If they don't, you penalize them, with meal penalties and this kind of stuff. But I also wanted to get into mainly there's a lot of ladies getting into it, and I encourage you ladies that want to challenge, because it's been like it's been real pro male, and Austin used to be this real close knit town where they wouldn't let anybody in, where it was tough to get in. I got in because I was an electrician by trade. They knew the theory about lights. I knew electricity. I saved their ass a lot of times because they didn't know about the generators and the juice flow, and you could put 277 on one line, which is commercial. Just little things like that they weren't versed on. They were more versed on lights, but we kind of taught each other, and that they embraced me, and we took them in. And it's mainly a people game. You gotta want it, Rock. You gotta want it.
Yeah.
We don't go for slackers. We'll point you out real quick. There's one guy just kind of joined us and looks like a frat boy, and just kind of they feel entitled. Yeah, you got the job, so now the work's over. That's when the work starts. They don't understand that. And he was boasting himself, and I was walking by. I said, "Man, I got attended like 10 times better than that." And I just walked by. I said, "No, sir." I said, "I've been in this 30 years. Just put it in perspective." I said, "You're getting paid as much as I am. You're getting paid like a professional. Try and act like one." It's a real high integrity spot, that you get. You're working with stars. You're working with people that you can't be awestruck with. I saw Jim Carrey, and I work with Bill Murray in Houston on Rushmore, and you can't, they mingle with you. I mean, I get to where I'm a people person, so they know me by name, which is flattering in itself. You get to me, but you'll make a damn good paycheck. They pay you well. I can't tell you the rates, but it's like double what you'll make out there. You won't make this kind of money anywhere else. The gear related, you have to be versed in your gear. I'm sure you guys have lights, C-stands, a different kind of lights. It's all going to LED. Most of the lights that I grew up with and stuff, HMI and hardcore tungsten lights, which is basically daylight and orange lights, night and day. They've gotten to LED, so it's really gotten technical. You can run them off your phone, and we still have the big light, the big 18Ks. It takes like 2-3 people to head up on a stand, and another 2 to roll it into place. And then the place that they give you is not always concrete. Sometimes it's going to be down in a creek. Good luck. I'll meet you there. That's all they tell you. They just tell you where they want it, and you put it there. No questions asked. You're safe. You got your back watched. A lot of guys got your 6, man, because it's a good crew. When you get a good crew, it rolls good. When you get a crew that has dissension, they don't gel as well, and they don't flow as well. And I've been in the business long enough where I'm a people person, and I can tell who's gonna gel and who's just gonna trying to, so a lot of times they try and impress me, and I'm like, you don't need to impress me, man. So you need to impress yourself. You need to account for yourself. That's basically what this is all about. There's also on the job related thing, there's condors. There's people that go up in man lifts with big lights. You go up and you stay up for 6 hours. It's the easiest job in the world, except if you're afraid of heights. If you're afraid of heights, don't do this gig. You'll die of fright. But if it doesn't bother you, I mean, up there, that's how I started. When I like doing north and south here in town. You can put a hammock up there. You get all your amenities. You got to take a jar to do your business in. You don't come down for 6 hours. You get in the winter you got furniture pads. You got heaters. You got light, you got whatever you need up there. You get Apple box to sit on. You can take your own chair. It's pretty comfortable. It usually goes to the old guys, that or the real green guys that want to get in on the action. That's what we should start on as a ground floor on the set. On the rigging crew is when you go to your school of hard knocks, because you realize what the equipment is. You get hands-on, you're throwing down, and you're understanding what the route is and why you're taking this route. A lot of guys will tell you, you got to do it. There's 5 ways to do it right. Just do it efficient and do it right and do it safe. That's all we ask. And we are looking for people that, again, I'm 66. I just turned 66, and I got to keep up with guys that are like half my age, and I do. And I usually remind them, I say, hey man, I'm a senior citizen, try and keep up. Because, when somebody calls for something on the walkie, I'm the first one up. These guys got years on me. Anyway, it's just ethic. Your source of work will mainly is related from the union. The union, it's not what do they call a hall where they call you for work. It's not they'll tell you what projects are going to come into town, and it's up to you to call them. They'll sometimes call you when they're short on people. The reason we're doing this drive is because we've got like 2.5 good crews total in Texas. That's Austin, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio. San Antonio has got very few. I'm one of the few ones. There's like about 5 guys there in the movie business, actual movie business. Now there is commercial work out here where you're filming and stuff like that, but I'm the movie guy. They don't call me for that. Which is all right. I'm making a great living. Don't get me wrong. But the union usually will hook you up with numbers of the people that are coming into town. Usually they bring their heads of the department, which is the key grip, the gaffer sometimes. They'll bring the director of photography always, but it's rare that they'll bring their keys, because that kind of intrudes on our territory. This is our territory, Texas. I think we got Oklahoma, but we go as far as El Paso. So there's a lot of territory here, and we're kind of like the stepchild. We don't mind. We still get to work. People come to work in Texas because it's Texas, because they want Texas, and mainly in Austin because we're in Austin, it's cool, and sure, I guess. But however you see it, let me go down the list here. And
whenever you're ready, I have some questions. Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, go ahead. Come on. I was just rambling.
So no, that's all good stuff. I'm glad you talked about the unions and how that functions. Once you get, say for instance, you get your first job or you get on, are you union right away, or do you have to do some time where you're non-union?
Oh no, actually you have to work on a project for 30 days, or you can just show 30 days of work in a project, and you can accumulate your 30 days by getting on this roster that will give you a name and a number and a link on the website to contact.
But it's a roster as an electrician, or just a roster as a person?
It's a roster period. A roster that says we need bodies.
Gotcha.
It could be construction, it could be a wardrobe, it could be hair and makeup, it could anybody.
As long as you're on that call sheet for 30 days.
As long as you're on that roster, correct. And this allows you to have a permit. The permit, after you get 30 days, then you start, like you got to cash in. You got to get your card.
Right.
You don't have to get your card, but again, it's our job and it's our jurisdiction, and it is a right to work state. But you're in better company if you go union. If
the call comes out and it's a union gig, then you get moved.
You will not. Yeah, you will get hired first, and it is you swear an oath that you will give the job to a union brother before you hire outside. Now, there's been cases where people start hiring friends and this and that, and someone will file a grievance. Right. And you can get sued for it. It's right, like, right. And I'm sitting at home, I'm a card holder, and you didn't hire me. Now sometimes that's good and bad, because sometimes they're sitting at home because they might not be that good. A lot of times people will ask me, hey, I'm gonna hire this guy, blah blah blah. Now you know what I said? They said, we're gonna need another guy. Now you know what? If you hire that guy's just gonna be a speed bump. Right. I'm going to have to look after him. I'm going to have to explain to him. I can do it quicker than I can tell him. and that's just me. If it's a guy that's good, I'm like, hell yeah, he's got my back. If I need something, he's going to get it for me. If I need backup, he's right there. A lot of times, if you're on a ladder or something like that and you need something, you need a backup. It's not like, oh, I got this. It ain't no one. It's a team thing. It's
Right.
always a team thing. That's why you have a crew. We got like a crew of 5 guys. And I'm happy to say we got a Carissa, a girl that's on our team. And she doesn't have my physique or my body strength, but she's quick. She's quick. She's on the set. She monitors the gaffer. She monitors the DP. She's the director. She sees what they're doing. She relays it to us and preps us. So that's very valuable information. I don't like to be on the set. Just a lot of times you got to get out of the way. You got to have a person on there we call a set dog. They're always they're a lap dog. They're always there when you need them. They can get the position. They can get the smaller light. They can get the stinger, which is an extension cord to the light. They can help you with something. If they want to be helpful, they can be helpful. And by all means, it's not all muscle. A lot of it's brain. And I'm kind of like, now that everybody's going to digital lights, LED lights, and having all these controls and stuff, like I got to catch up with that myself because I'm from the old school. But these guys are so quick. I'm like, you got it. I'll back you up. So that's pretty much how.
So you're talking. What you're saying is you need thinking soldiers, not just big bodies.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you want to be physical, but you also want to be a thinker, right?
No, absolutely.
So one of the things that and I'll interject here, the times that you and I have worked together. I usually worked in the AD department, and so I had information about what we were going to do next, what was going to happen, what was probably going to happen, even though the schedule said something different. I said, you know what, we're probably not even going to get to that. We're just going to probably. And so one of the things I try to teach my students a lot is pay attention to what's going on. Don't just show up to work and just we wait to be told everything. You stay ahead of the game. And that also makes you attractive as a worker because you're not just there. You just didn't show up for the craft services and the lunch. You're there only to work, but you're paying attention to what's going on. And remember, at the end of the day, it's the shot. You got to get the shot.
Yeah, and it changes. Shot. It changes on the fly. It changes on the fly. Like that. Sure. Once they get when the shot's getting set up, you're going to be working for like an hour and a half. You're hustling with a sense of urgency,
right,
all the time. But once they start shooting, you got to get out of there.
Right.
It's like, hey, go hide, go to craft, but you're on walkie.
And then you may be thinking about what's happening next, right? You could be
absolutely.
Say after we shoot this shot, we're moving. So
luckily, the head of your department will tell you, hey, this is what's up next. Oh, okay, right. Let's get some gear over there. Let's prep a couple of things so you already know what they're lighting with. You can tell what they're lighting with. So take a couple of guns over there and have them standing by, and you're still listening, man. But the worst enemy is this guy right here, man.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's like, don't.
And dude, I've been out of the business so long that wasn't around when I was working with you guys, man. That wasn't even around. I can imagine now.
This can take your job.
Back in the days, it was cigarettes.
Well,
And everybody go to the back of the truck and smoke. Yeah, it's disappeared. I'd be like, "Where's everybody at?" Oh, they're smoking in the truck. They're smoking cigarettes.
No, exactly. And with me, I carry a guitar on the truck, and and we've got a bunch of guys, and now we're kind of like forming a little band on the side because you have enough downtime. But again, when the call comes through the walkie, boom, shit down, go.
So who's the guy that keeps the ear open? Who's the watchman? Usually, is that your best boy?
Right. No, the best boy. The best boy is usually putting out fires before they happen, or taking care of business that's going to happen, or he's out scouting. But yeah, no. If you have some kind of incident, he takes care of all your L&D. Hey man, this light's wimping out.
He's also ordering special equipment.
Yeah, no. Actually, the best boy's job is he does the time cards. He does all the
administrative stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And he does a lot of the ordering of lights, the repair of lights. He sends them back. We don't repair them. We send them back.
So then who's after that?
Who's on top of him is a gaffer.
Right.
The gaffer
the gaffer's in the game though. He's there with DP, right?
Yeah. And
he's in the game.
The best boy is just man in gear.
Right.
You know, crew and gear is his deal. And then the thirds, if you gel, you just carry it. The better your crew is, the less your best boy has to do. I remember when I started Friday Night Lights, a football series, everybody went to the hitcher because we were doing a movie, and then they went out of town. They took some of the crew with them. And I, told the gaffer, John Lewis, I say, hey man, I said, I'll best for you. So I didn't know you wanted the best. And I was, sure, I'll do it. But I had a bunch of greenhorns, and I had to stay on set all the time, as well as, taking care of the L&D and the ordering and the time cards and the call times for people. You get things that are called day players. A lot of times you have a set crew that are like 3-4 people on set. And then you'll have a heavy day where you're going to need extra bodies. Those are day players. They'll come in, 1-2 days a week. And sometimes if the workload is so heavy, they'll keep him on as a day player, but he'll be working every day. Again, it depends on your work ethic and your hustle, and what you got to offer to the crew itself.
Day players come from the roster as well. The roster,
yeah, that's about,
or they come by word of mouth. Both.
They prefer you to
recommend somebody.
Go to the roster, but a lot of times the word of mouth is really good, because it's usually a friend of yours that can pull you out of a pinch, and has got some snap and has got some hustle and pays attention. It's going to basically cover your ass, and again, ladies, bring it, bring it. I was trying, my daughter is a stage manager over here at SeaWorld, and she's been doing projects here, like Talking Heads and conventions and concerts and stuff like that. And I'm trying to get her into it. And she says, well, not your world, Dad. And I'm like, no, that ain't my world. I said, that's a world open to ladies, just bring them in. A lot of them usually go to camera or wardrobe or makeup. But man, there's some that are breaking the stereotype, which is awesome, that I really like, because they don't have to be as they don't have to be, they don't have to lift weights. They don't have to have a body.
Yeah. It's
like, exactly. And
so
speaking
of that, so you were saying that LEDs have come in, technology has changed. Has that made it better, or has it made it? Has it? In other words, I remember the cabling was just super heavy.
It's made it way better.
And so now, of course, I don't think you probably need that kind of cabling anymore. Is it different, or is it still the same?
No, you do, but it's like your fill lights and some of your bigger lights. We're going to something called the S60, the S30, the S series. They're LED panels. We're also doing like 4-foot stick lights. They're called the Asteras. It's an LED light. It's powered. It's got a battery in it. It comes in a case. You leave them plugged in. They're charged up. They're good for like about maybe 4 hours, 5 hours, something like that.
And so they run on some stuff runs on battery, or is it still all hardwired?
I'm saying most of the new stuff is on battery, or you can adapt it to the D cell, the D batteries that go on cameras. That's what the sky panels are called.
So the charging of batteries now is a new job, and that's how that falls in your world.
It's just part of the job.
So now you guys are running batteries when it's.
Well, actually, with some of the like I was saying, the Asteras and the Helio lights are these they're like fluorescent tubes that are self-powered.
Similar to Kino Flows.
Similar to Kino Flows, exactly.
Do they still use Kino Flows?
No, they're pretty extinct. When we run out of the Asteras and stuff like that, because these guys, they're battery operated, man. You can stick it on a wall, you can stick it in a car, you can put it over here where you can't, when there's a closet, we got to get some light coming out of there, and they go into the closet so they can't see the light. So it's better to hide. It's better to work with. The lights are.
Wow, man, that's amazing.
Those big 18Ks, and
for night shoots, for night stuff.
Yeah, and we use HMIs for the night stuff.
Still HMIs.
That's what simulates the blue moon. That's why you need blue light at night to light up the background and stuff like that. And that's where the condors, the man lifts come in, and it's a piece of cake job. We're just looking for fresh blood.
But you also have to, speaking of condors, special equipment. It helps if you know how to, work scissor lifts and condors.
Absolutely, and there are classes that the union has been giving, and you can inquire into, that gives you like a license. They give it's a little license or a permit that you've gone through their classes, and they'll teach you on forklifts, on petty bones, which is the ones that you can lift a car with.
Yeah.
Like a tractor with an articulating arm and stuff. And then also the man lifts that go from 60 feet to 120 feet. The 120 feet is real high, and the wind.
So once you get into the union, then some of that stuff becomes available to you. You get like a newsletter. How do you get?
Well, you can ask the business agent. They'll usually, or you can call our office in Austin, and they'll point you in the right direction, or they'll
wow,
tell
that's
you,
really good to know, man.
When a session is coming up, we have to get certified. That's what it is. You get certified, and I think the certification lasts like about 3 to 5 years or something. We have to go get certified ourselves, but it's second nature to us, But once you're certified, and we know you're certified, and we can get you certified, and usually there's people in the crew that can certify you, And then sometimes we'll go to like they got a depot, I forget what it's called, like truck depot or something like that, that has the places that have all these condors and man lifts and stuff like that. And sometimes that's how we do it. We'll get a class there, like 30 people, and boom, everybody will go through there, do their stuff, and get out with their certificate.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah. So it's we've done that for quite a bit. There's a lot of workshops that the union has going on, but basically, what I urge you to do, the reason I wanted to do that is I got clearance from my business agent, and I asked her, and I know me and James go back, and I knew he was teaching, and I'm like, hey man, I said, this is a good avenue for us to get some fresh blood and to get San Antonio back on the map. We haven't done anything here in San Antonio for a while,
Oh, I know, man. We was just talking about that, and
it's our film
training the next generation of filmmakers and people that we know that could, there's going to be some students will definitely go the technical route where they just want to learn how to do one job. There's going to be others that want to be the producers, and then there's going to be others, like you said, that go into other departments, art departments. The many different varieties. So
and production
I teach.
PAs are just like runners also. So you'll need people that are just, hey man, go get this, do that.
And there's advantages to that position too, because you get to see all the different where everybody works and where departments
exactly. While they're working, you see
while they're working.
And you're like, oh man, I want a piece of that. And
exactly.
You're more than welcome to try and get it, but you gotta want it. Man. You gotta want it,
right? And the camera department is its own,
they can get you on an internship as well. If you're coming out of school with some camera experience, by all means, follow that.
Right.
And if you want to be a production assistant and do stuff, I mean, editing is kind of like, on the big guys and the big movies, it's like they all go to LA or where they bring their own. But there are projects here in San Antonio that you can do. I just a guy named Aaron Lopez has Mud Productions, and he does
Aaron,
and also Daniel Maldonado does some
Daniel, right?
And they're all independents, and they're good independents, but they're not getting support from our film commissioner.
Right.
When I retire, I might be knocking on that door and say, hey man, somebody who knows what, and you got to.
Well, there's I've had those discussions with the person who's the film commissioner now, and they've taken. You remember when Leighton Chapman was around?
Yeah.
Leighton, remember that? Okay, so back in the day, the film commission fell under the Visitors Conventions Bureau.
Yeah.
And since then, they moved him to the arts department.
Yeah.
And it's more like an arts position.
Yeah, and I actually talked to Drew Mayer. Drew Mayer
was kind of like the last guy that was the dude, and so the focus should be in economic development. So projects can get funded, and also
what they don't understand is that the film commissioner can wine and dine producers. I know producers. I work with them right now. They're good friends of mine. They came from locations. They work their ways up as well. And I've been in the business so long that I've seen them come up locally. And I also know guys, from out of town, from LA, from New York and stuff that have done projects that have gone through here. And we got to reach out to these people and show them our beautiful town, man. We've got all sorts of scenes here, man. We got stuff that looks like LA, stuff that looks like West Texas, stuff that looks like farmland, and anything, man. We got great locations. We got a lot of hotels. What we don't have that's not attractive is crews. You know, every time we do something here, we got to draw people from all.
Well, there's a couple of things, right? Studio space, we're still hurting on that, right? We don't have a facility.
Well, I mean, the studio isn't anything. I mean, Selena did,
right. We used the HEB, remember?
Yeah, right there.
You can make a studio.
Hillcrest.
Yep, the other one too is gear too, right? It's hard to get gear in this town. I mean, like, technical gear.
So, we have LD systems, and they've been here forever. And
so I try to encourage some students who want to get into the business side of it to say, hey man, go get yourself a, you know, I think Daniel bought a truck. Remember, Daniel bought a truck, and that's how he started, right? I don't know if he still has a truck.
Yeah, I've no idea. I've been actually helping Aaron with a bunch of stuff that he's been doing, because he's working with he just got picked up by some distributorship.
Yeah. For the
which is good. And right now he just flew to Germany to go do a documentary with this guy he hooked up with us. We've got the gear and some of the people here in town, but we don't have the support.
Right.
You know, we don't have the crew. So I'm encouraging people that you know, if you're in this business, as you're in this class, this is your end result. You know, I bought a house and I've, you know, put my kids through college, and I've had a great time, knock on wood. You know, I've had my setbacks, and I'm the only one that kind of stuck it out, because I was a single parent with two girls, and I couldn't just leave town. And so I was fortunate enough, because of my work ethic, I stayed busy, and you know, I made the first string call.
Right.
Football, I made the first string, second string, and the C string. You know, you decide where you want to be, and it's all revolves on your actions. You know, if you got a good work ethic, these guys are going to want you back just because you're a hustler, you know. But if you're real good and know your trade and stuff like that, but you want to sit at the truck, we got no use for you.
Right.
I'm sorry, we just don't. And we used to police our own. I'm going through like the second generation of people, third generation, I'll say, because the first generation already made it big and they're out, you know, doing the big stuff. And the other guys are just, you know, kind of stayed here with me. And I know a lot of people, if y'all want to, I can't say I have the liberty of talking to you right now, because that's why I wanted to go to your class to eyeball you guys.
Yeah.
I'm starting on Walker, Texas Ranger. We're starting for the second season.
Yeah.
I just did, before that, I was on Fear the Walking Dead.
Where are they filming Walker?
In Austin.
We're based
out of Austin. Yeah.
Back in the day, it was Dallas, remember?
Yeah, that was because there was what's the name?
What's his name? Yeah, the real Walker.
Yeah, Chuck Norris. Now it's a guy. It's Jared Padalecki, the guy who's Walker right now. He's the guy that is on Supernatural.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the stars on that, and they've been on for years and years and years. So he's got his own following. So CBS said, "Hey, man, you can whatever you want to do, you can do it. You can pull it on your own," and he is pulling it off on his own. And let's talk about a third season, but I don't know how much longer I'll be on this. I mean, I
hey, you look good, man. You're doing good, dude. So
thank you, brother. I don't want to get out of it.
But you also have a music career, so I'm going to share the music video with the students.
No, absolutely. As a matter of fact, Mud Productions, I'm going to plug him, because I was working with him. I was gaffing for him. I was lighting some of his little projects, and he didn't have a generator because he had a big light. And I said, "Look, I'll buy you a generator." And it's not you know,
putt.
Yeah, putt 3600, something that'll carry a 2500 light. You know, but basic lights, and whenever you're on a location, you're gonna need power and stuff like that. So I bought him that, and usually from the jobs, after a job, like when Walker finished, they had a bunch of gel rolls, and I used to give him the sack, just rolls of gel. Just sometimes, like, I couldn't hook up with a guy because he thought I was kidding.
Right.
And I got all these expendables that you could use and you could show to your people. That's how we color correct. That's how we color change. That's how we add color. You know.
That's good. You mentioned expendables. So tell me what is expendables? What are expendables?
Expendables are just like it's like tape, gloves, and as far as we have extra light bulbs, all sorts of light bulbs that we have to, if we go to a location, we got to change that. Gel, we have to, the gel you have to buy, we have to buy a lot of sash. We have to buy a lot of these cube tabs that we call them smart bombs, or it's like you plug it into a plug and it gives you 3 outlets immediately. Yeah, just stuff like that. Expendables, you know. So
those are the expendables, are things that you cycle through.
You're gonna go like we always use work lights. Those little clip-on lights that you find at Home Depot.
Right.
A lot of times a department will say, hey man, it's too dark over here. We need a light. And the gaffer's like, hey man, don't be using one of our set lights. So we're not ready for that. So it's expendables. You have to use that money and just buy a bunch of clip lights and then, accommodate them, because they're expendable. If it goes away, you buy tarps, you get easy ups, you get you get hand trucks, stuff that you're going to use on the fly that's really kind of creature comfort.
And the electric department handles everything electric on a set, right?
Everything electric from
like if they need power to
if hair and makeup needs a hair dryer, we got to give them a Stinger.
Yeah,
usually craft service needs power, so we'll need to feed them with 100 ampere and some power to them. And you got a sound department's going to need juice, and the video department's going to need juice for playback.
Video village.
Like the dolly's going to need juice all the time. So you got to have a box right by the set that's almost dedicated there. And once you lay out all your shit, okay, I'm ready. No, you're not, because you just fed the basic set. Now you got to light it. Now you got to feed your lights and your stuff. So here comes a second wave of work.
Right.
This is what happens. Everybody opens up their truck and pukes it, and you set up, you get up your little camp, and that's it. And I love it, man. It's a great business. I hope you people get enthused and to start moving on this, because we do need people. And again, San Antonio is not represented. Austin is the only place that has people. We're getting a couple of people out of Houston that are now moving to Austin. And Dallas, usually they got like a Queen of the South or some other project that keeps them busy up there. But we've got some people from Dallas that are coming down as well. The poor people in El Paso, man, Pobrecitos, they hardly get anything. Sometimes they'll get a thing in West Texas. We did the 3 burials of Melquiades Estrada.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
And it's dead out there. Yeah, now they got Elon Musk.
Man, so Danny, you've given us so much information, dude. This is just great stuff. But also, from a perspective where it's real and how you started. You said when you first started as an electrician, you had studied electric.
Yeah, I went to St. Philip's College to get. I was on the road to get my journeyman's. I got to meet journeyman because I was an electrician, just rewiring houses and worked for Barry Electric and stuff like that, and a couple of other places. But it wasn't until I started getting into, because I was a musician. I had been touring. Some people knew me from the Stagehands Union, so I got into back when Hemisphere Arena was around, and what we did a lot of stuff.
So that was the connection to show business.
Exactly. The Stagehands Union. Russell Stubing, he's an older gentleman now, and he used to be my sound man on the road. He came back and he graduated from A&M, a real smart guy, and he just offered me a gig to be an electrician on a commercial. And this was like 30 years ago, and it was minimal work, and I worked like about maybe 8 hours, and it was because the commercial rate, and I got like about $500 for the day. And I'm like, whoa. I said, how the hell do I get into this? So he introduced me to, I stayed there, and then he introduced, that's when the movie of the weeks were happening, and Rodriguez had just done El Mariachi, so he's getting some notoriety, and it just started booming right there. And they embraced me, and we, but I've seen them where they snuff people where, now, man, it's not that you're not good enough. It's like that, hey, man, we're worried about us getting our job, us getting our work. We can't be selfish like that anymore, man. It's like now if there's like 2 or 3 projects, we're tapped out, and there's like 4 to 5 projects going to happen. So we're definitely going to be tapped out. When that happens, we have to import people. That's bad for production, because now they're going to have to pay them per diem. They're going to have to pay them housing, so that's a whole nother chunk of change that they got to go. They'd rather pay somebody like me. It's called a nearby hire, where they just give you a housing stipend, and I was working as a local for a long time, because just
in Austin.
Yeah, because the heads of the department wouldn't agree to, hey, man, I need housing. I said, I don't live here. I got to get a motel room. I can't be couch surfing all the time. But that's the way you got to start.
Yeah, and we cover that too. We talk about producers. At some point, some of these, they're going to have to make those decisions as well. And I've seen when they make how or why they make those decisions as producers. I mean, it's not always in the best interest of the crew. It's in the interest of the project. And this is all the money they got, and so they don't have that money to spend And so
Yeah.
you realize, you know, in every project you've worked on very high budget projects, and you've worked on extremely low budget projects, and you
Yeah.
see what you can afford in those types of projects.
Yeah.
So,
No,
and we
I
talk
like-
about that in this class. You know, we definitely cover a lot of, because also part of the focus is, as much as I want them all to have technicians and have jobs, and some, like I said, some of them are going to become like the Aarons of the world, where they're going to be producers,
yeah.
and they're going to be creators, and they're going to have to make the decisions as producers of how they're going to spend that money, right?
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah, and those low budgets that are around here, they don't pay much, but they're going to give you the hands-on experience and the snap that you need.
right.
I don't know how much gear. I also wanted to take a look at y'all's apartment and see what kind of gear, what kind of lights, what kind of stands.
We got old studio stuff, dude. We got some old 2K molds. We got the soft boxes in the thing, and
Yeah, a lot of times back then you had to create it, like those soft boxes, the chicken coops that you had to make.
yeah.
And it was just a bunch of
Well,
flood.
they have just old molds, dude. But you know, and looking at that, and now that I'm there full time, I may ask you how do we, maybe you can help us consult, man.
Hell yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
because
No,
we
absolutely.
just got a new green screen wall. We you know,
Oh, nice.
they do get money for loans, because it's a workforce commission.
Yeah.
Texas Workforce Commission wants to give the department money
Good,
to supplement the
Let me know
lighting.
how that goes, because I can give you, I can point you in the right direction.
There you go, and
You know, 'cause, like-
and maybe even get you to do it, dude. Pay you.
No worries, man. I mean, like, you know.
So okay, man. Well, look, I don't want to take any much more of your time, but if you got, you know, a piece of advice to give these students, you know, and then you've given a lot already, but what would be your one thing, man? Final say, hey, you know, this is how you're going to do it. You're going to do it.
Get up off your ass and do it. You got to want it. You really got to want it. You got to have a passion for it. If you don't, go find something else, because we got a lot of placeholders we're trying to replace right now. They're not union yet, but they've been word of mouth. It's a cousin of mine that said, "No, you know, come on, I need some workers. I need some guys that are really passionate about what they do here." Like I said, we used to police our own. Now we don't have that power anymore. Just because the work ethic has changed, you know, with, like I said, it's like my third generation of people that I've been going through. I wish you luck. I hope you can do it. And I hope to see some faces. You know, some of you ladies, come on out. Don't, you know, test the waters. You know, if it, you know, the worst thing we can say is no. You know, you can try, if you like it, you'll strive for it, and you'll, you know, it'll be a challenge. And challenge yourself. You know, always challenge yourself.